Hey everyone, it's me, Crystal Ann Mitchell, and I'm here for your motivation uh, or whatnot. And I see that y'all been peeping out that hood story time. You know what I'm saying? I see them little views going up, and that's messed up, y'all. They almost got me. But let me say this before I start with this message. I want you to know that uh, that I don't condone that type of behavior from anybody. You know, I said I don't want people, especially the younger uh, people, to think that that's cool. You know what I'm saying? Because it ain't. But I feel like that is part of my life that I had to go through so that I can try to reach others to not have them go down that road. Cause honey, I'm telling you, I am telling you. Oh dang, oh Lord have mercy. But yeah, that I think about that all the time. I do. And the fact that, you know what I'm saying, you see things that other people can't see it, and then when somebody finally see what you've been seeing, that was like a relief off of my shoulders. You hear me? So yeah, I don't want, the younger people, anybody, you know what I'm saying, to be doing that. And I do feel like, you know, those of us that have lived that lifestyle and we owe, like it's a time to stop. Especially if you made your money. I believe it's time to like give back or do something positive with that, because bad enough we did something that was bad, you know what I'm saying? But I also want to state that around that time, I did tell God, I was like, look, if you get me out of this, I will change my life. So I think that too was an eye opener, you know what I'm saying? Of like, and I didn't never want to tell that story public, you know what I'm saying? I never want to come and say that because I never want anyone to think that, you know what I'm saying, that's cool. We already got people that rap about it, and you got stories about it and movies about it. And, a lot of people look up to these types of people and think that's cool and stuff like that. So I just want to be known to let you know that I don't suggest nobody to do that. And that's like I said, the second book is to drive people away from that type of lifestyle. So, I guess in order to uh, try to lead somebody away from you, had to be living that type of way. You know what I'm saying? I think the best teachers, for me, the best preachers, teachers, any uh, motivational speakers tend to be those that talk about things that had lived it. You know what I'm saying? Versus you not living it, you just giving advice. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, that's where your audience come in at. You know what I'm saying? Who your crowd is. So and I'm to reach those that, you know what I'm saying, that I'm to reach instead of trying to be everywhere. Although the story is for everyone, like I had said before. So this message, I want to bring it as everything happens for a reason. So I'm putting everything happens for a reason because of I truly believe that. I truly, truly believe that, and I can give examples with my life for this message. So when I was younger, you know, I had went to Job Corp. I had put this in my first book, the beginning of the story. So I went to Job Corp, And the reason I had went to Job Corps is because I had a friend there, and she was like, these girls and stuff was, messing with her and stuff like that. They was mean and stuff like that. I was like, hold on, I'm on my way. So I get signed up, ready to go. About time I get there, she's already then left. And I'm like, wind up going, met some cool people. You hear me? Cool people. Because, we had people from Florida, Tennessee, Alabama, of course, Kentucky. It was a lot of places, and it was a great experience. So I was supposed to graduate 2003. So this shows you can do anything once you put your mind into it. So I was supposed to graduate in 2003. At 18, I ended up was there 6 months, I believe, maybe 7 months. But within that first month, it's like you you don't do nothing for real, like with your trade and stuff. So like I want to say I was there for 7 months, but the 6 months, I finished it within 6 months, 6 to 7 months. So I wound up graduating at 17. And matter of fact, November the 1st, 2002, I wound up coming home. They didn't even want me to leave because, I was trying to pack my stuff on the bus. And they was like, well, since I'm about 18, and I had to call my mama. So my mama was here to talk to him, like, well, did she finish? And they was like, yeah. So they was like, well, she put her stuff on there because it was gonna be pass for that weekend or whatnot, and I wound up. So I was just there for like 6, 7 months, finished it. So my class was graduating 2003, so I actually graduated 2002. So put your mind into anything, you know what I'm saying, is possible. And so like I said, I met some great people, but going back to everything happens for a reason. So I was there, and I never played softball before. You know what I'm saying? So some people, they was going to be going to Atlanta, and when I went to Atlanta, uh, well, somebody had acted out, showed out or whatnot, and they couldn't go. And they was like, well, Crystal, do you want to go? And I was like, I don't know. I don't want to really go, but I never had been to Atlanta before. And they was like, well, so I wound up going. Never played baseball, just softball. Didn't even practice or nothing. You know what I'm saying? So I goes with the people, and I had a nice time there. I really, really did. I really, really did. And I ended up winning a trophy for MVP, and it was another girl had won it too, a trophy. So that was very exciting. So when we was in Atlanta, we had went to another Job Corps, and we was in like their little cafeteria, little gym area or whatnot, and there was this play. It was the uh, Tyler Perry play, Mr. Tyler Perry, and it was a Diary of a Mad Black Woman. And so while we was there, I mean, I was watching it, we was watching it, and I've never seen it. So it hasn't even hit like Kentucky. I had never seen and I was just amazed because I'm like, who is this? What is this? You know what I'm saying? And I was just like, I was tripping. We was tripping and stuff. But the people that was in Atlanta, they knew of him. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't nothing new. You could tell. And that was the first time that I had actually seen him. The play. So, gets back. And, I always had it in my mind, like, and after a while, I don't know if it was like a couple of years later or maybe the next year, it hit in Kentucky. So people was looking at it and I had already seen it. I was like, this is it, this is it, this is it. And I mean, I was just so amazed. So then he came to Louisville. So my cousin Rosie, she's passed away, Lord bless her soul. So her and her sister and me had went to go see his play. I want to say, and it's so crazy because I haven't seen the whole movie straight through with the Bow Wow. I think One Big Happy Family or whatnot. So he came to Louisville, Kentucky, and we went to see him, spent the night and stuff like that. So my cousin Rosie was like, "Here, we should write him or leave him an email." So crazy because I mean, I was just amazed because that was the first play that I had ever, the first and only play that I had ever seen of him. Like actually being there or whatnot. And so when we was at our hotel, I've always wanted to be a writer. So I was just like, it would be cool if, I'm telling him like, I've always wanted to be a writer and that, it basically like was something that I've always wanted to do. I was like, but it'd be cool if one day I could write for you. I never thought nothing of it. You know what I'm saying? And then the movie wound up coming out, and I haven't really. I would see it like off and on, like bits and pieces, but I haven't really like sat and watched it all the way through. Although I really, really love the play, and it's so strange because I told you that uh, the dream. I don't know which one was first, if it was God or if it was the dream while I was shaking someone's hand. But in 2019, before I became the author, he was the one that I had was trying to shake his hand like we was about to do a business deal, and the two women came in the door, busting through the door, and they just was fighting. They was busting through the door fighting. And he was like, "Oh no!" And it was always said that he tried the writers' room and it didn't work or whatnot, and that you know and then after I became that author, I want to say within January, because I came an author August 2020, and I want to say around January or February of 2021 is where they said that he had a change of heart. And I want to say it was a woman that had wanted to be an actress or whatnot that made a billboard. I was like, Miss Tyler Perry, I'm the next actress or whatnot. And he was like, don't. And I believe she wound up working for him or whatnot. He wound up accepting her, but he was like, he didn't want people to try to get his attention that way, spending their hard-earned money, and that there's other ways to grab his attention. And so there are some people that's on LinkedIn, like I said, and that's one of my friends. I had said in one of them uh, uh, videos that was trying to get me to get in one of them people's, message there. But I was like, I'm not desperate. And they was like, yes, you are. Which, I haven't. I ain't, you know what I'm saying? I ain't going to do that. But, yeah, but I always, when I had that dream of about to shake his hand before the women, stopped it, I always think about the time that the woman, the girl had at the time, whoever was got in trouble, and I was then asked to go to Atlanta, how I was then introduced to his artwork, to his plays, and then how years later I then, and this was before I had my sons, and how I then went to get to see him at the play performing, and how I did write. And that was just something that I just wrote. Like, I wasn't expecting, like, it was just like, it would be cool if one day I could write for you. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, and then to actually have that dream, you know what I'm saying? And how it said all of a sudden that, and you can Google it, that he said that he had a change of heart, and that do, absolutely do make me think about that. And so I go back to say everything happens for a reason as well too. When I was back in school, uh, I was in an upper band program. I got to go there. My uh, mother had got me into this program. So like on the weekends, on Saturdays, we go to K-State, and it basically giving you the feel of what college was going to be. And I was like in high school. And then for the summer, you could, I had went we would go and stay on campus. So it was like I got to be in the dorms and stuff like that. And then we would take little classes and stuff like that, getting you prepared to see what it was. But my mom, she begged, she's like, look, if you go, even if you don't like it, I'll get you a moped, which I'm still waiting on that moped and strike. Like she don't know what I'm talking about. But they owe me a moped. So she's like, if you don't like it, because I absolutely did not want to go. You know what I'm saying? And I wound up going, didn't stay that long, but it was nice. And it was this guy named Mike Washington, right? That I had. He's one of the dudes that I do remember that as well, besides the people that, was from Lexington, Kentucky, that, was in this program too, that I had went to school with and been knowing. And so he was from down there in Frankfurt, and he had a sister. I can't remember his sister name. And then years later, when we was growing, I wound up seeing him when we was out, and I knew him like, and that was the last time I ever seen him. And and it's so crazy after all those years. So I hope he's doing well, you know. So yeah, he uh he was a joy, you know what I'm saying? So maybe one day he would see this or somebody in his family, you know what I'm saying? And so it wasn't for me. I knew it wasn't for me. And that's crazy because although I then went to college, you know what I'm saying? Uh, it really wasn't for me. I had classes that I needed, you know what I'm saying? And I truly believe that, you know, schooling isn't for everybody, you know, and I think that we should normalize, like, instead of having people like just soon as we having children and stuff like that, if to automatically be like, okay, you gotta get ready to work for somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like that people's purposes and their gifts and stuff don't consist of going to school. And and I was watching, I'll be studying millionaires and billionaires, and I've always was a C student, especially in college. Give me a C and I'm good. You know what I'm saying? I am good, just so I'm passing. And and you can look it up, and where they say the A and B students end up working for the C students. So when I said that, I said, "Oh, that's me, honey. I'm the C student, honey." But I'm not telling people just don't, go to college and stuff like that. But I honestly believe that, you know, we need to quit trying to push stuff on people when they saying that it isn't for them. And no matter if it is for them and they feel like that it ain't for them, then, who are you to tell a person what they want to be in life? And sometimes people don't know what they want to be or what it is that they really are here to do, until they older. You know what I'm saying? So that is, and I wanted to get that experience out there. You know what I'm saying? But to just looking back on your life of why do things happen the way that they happen? You know what I'm saying? That is. That is. And I've always been the kind that whenever I put my mind into it, I can do it. You know what I'm saying? I remember I was in school and I was sick. I was pregnant, and when I was in college, and I was pregnant, and I was in math class, and there was this, and I was sick. So it was this one thing in math I could not grasp. I could not grasp it in my mind, and I would even go to him, and he would try to teach. I could not get this programmed in my mind. This one little part of the section of the math. And so I told myself, I said, if I study enough, these others, I can pass it and fail the other ones that I cannot grasp in my mind. And what I did was I studied, practice. So when the exam came, and this was the last exam, and I did it, and I was like, oh my goodness. Because the first part was the one that I didn't know. And I skipped that, and I did all the other ones that I knew. And I turned it in, and when he graded the paper, and when I finally seen him, he was like, Crystal, when I was grading your paper, I was thinking, oh my goodness, she's going to fail. She's going to fail. And you know what? I passed all the others and didn't pass the ones that I left blank because I couldn't grasp that in my mind. And I wound up passing that exam. But I didn't want to beat myself up. I said, if I can only make sure that I pass everything else, don't make a mistake to get it, you know. And I wound up passing it. So, most definitely, anybody, you can do anything that you want if you put your mind into it. And don't let nobody tell you otherwise. Because when we was younger, they let us know that we can do it. It's just when we get older, some people want to turn it around. So always remember that. And I want to say that you look back on your life, on certain things, I'm pretty sure that you would look back and could see how God was making things work together, although it didn't look like it at the time. Even if it's cases where it was bad situations, you know what I'm saying? Everything always turns out for the good. So always remember that. So everything happens for a reason. So now that I told you my dream, that one dream that I said that I hope that one it comes true. This is this will be on the recorded uh, with whose hand I was going to shake in the dream.